What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing great. I just watched the Lakers blow a 15-point lead to the Memphis Grizzlies. And as a Laker fan, that is annoying because it keeps happening over and over and over again. But the good news is the guy at home on the couch has kind of figured out what needs to be done and what needs to be changed in order for this team to be successful. Because I think after watching enough of the gameplay, I think I've got it figured out as to what it is. Okay. We're going to start by this. One, not letting David Fizdale ever coach another game ever again. Okay. Awful. Awful. Okay. This man, we had like a 10 or 12-point lead, like maybe it might have been 13 in the beginning of the fourth quarter, I believe. And we decided to put out a lineup of Taylor Horton-Tucker, Russell Westbrook, Stanley Johnson, Avery Bradley, and LeBron James. If that sounds like it was horrible, it was. Trust me. Okay. Taylor Horton-Tucker can't hit a three to save his life. There's no spacing with him on the floor. Russ, we know he's not a great shooter. It is what it is. We knew that going in. Stanley Johnson's never been a good shooter in his entire career. He's shooting 14% from three on the season. LeBron shoots like 35%, and Avery Bradley shoots like 40%, but only on 3 attempts. So they really have no spacing on the floor with that lineup. And you want to guess what happened to that lead? It was gone. Gone, and they were losing the game now. That's a coaching thing because you had Malik Monk, you had other people, Melo, even though he wasn't in shots. You just needed the spacing to be there. Darren Collison can shoot a little bit. They had other bodies in order to put in the game. Like that lineup was awful. There's no way that should ever see the day of light ever again. Okay. That's one thing. Never see that ever again. That lineup, I got this number for you right here. Their overall average from three, just by adding the percentages up and then dividing, doing the mean, their overall average from three from that lineup that I listed earlier, 28%. So the Grizzlies, being the smart basketball players that they are, they knew that all they did was pack the paint. What does LeBron James need in order to be at his utmost successful, as the same as Russell Westbrook? He needs space. And when you don't have any, it really cramps everything up. Okay. So that lineup, absolutely awful. That's why they lost the game. And then secondly, they did this thing against the Rockets, and they've done it in other previous really good games where when it got close down the stretch, they went with Russ as the guy with the ball, LeBron being the picker, and running like pick and roll with those two, and having LeBron be the guy that rolls to the rim, being the catches it off of bounds, short roll, can kick to the corner, can attack the rim. He's absolutely perfect in that role. So it was working perfectly. Russ is good enough to find that and make the right read, and it's deadly. It's almost unbeatable. And for whatever reason, they decided, let's not do that at all in this game. Let's just completely scrap that. That won us the game. We should never do that ever again. What are you doing? Like, come on, my guy. Go with what works until it doesn't work anymore. It's basically like just spamming X on a PlayStation controller. It blows my mind that they don't ever stick with stuff that consistently works and has been proven in their wins. Okay. And then the other thing, the front office, while this roster wasn't constructed perfectly, they haven't been healthy at really any point in the season. They found guys like Stanley Johnson and Darren Collison. And I think the biggest thing those guys provide is they actually care. They actually want to be there, and they compete on defense, and they bring energy to the floor. Okay. Especially Stanley Johnson. He's a big wing. He's a really good defender, in my opinion, watching him. He's a really good defender. He lacks some on offense, but he tries and he brings effort. And that's what they've been lacking like all year, is somebody that's just going at it 110%. And because he's playing for a contract. And personally, I think he deserves a contract for the rest of the season. He's on a 10-day. I hope they bring him back, and I hope Collison gets brought back for the rest of the season. Cut DeAndre Jordan, cut Kent Bazemore, and then keep those two. Because those guys, they're proving that they have something in them that the rest of the team hasn't really been able to keep, and that's effort. Okay. Because you can't coach effort. That's where they're really missing guys like Alex Caruso, but that's not coming through the door anytime soon. So you got to find what you can get. So I think having those guys and bringing them in, that was valuable. That was important. Okay. They need minutes, but you need them to be put in lineups where they're optimized. So Stanley Johnson's main thing to bring on this team is effort and defense. That's what it is. Darren Collison, spacing, running some backup point, and alleviating some pressure from LeBron and Russell Westbrook. Okay. That's what their roles are. Those two should have very key roles down the stretch. THT, he's probably going to get traded, and I understand why. I don't even really blame him as much. His skill set doesn't really fit the roster. and he's a young guy, so it's really hard to figure that out. So I don't really blame him too much. But if he is on the team in the future, great. If not, I understand if he gets traded. I hope he does great somewhere else. It's not even, there's no hard feelings towards it. It's hard as a young guy to come in and fit between these guys that were basically superstars a few years ago with, Bron, AD, Russ, Melo, even. Like there's so much, it's hard to fit that, and I get it. So I'm not even mad at it. All right. And other Laker fans, you shouldn't be either. Okay. But one, the coaching, that's got to be the best. That's got to be the biggest improvement for them to be anywhere near competitive towards the end of the season. Because even right now, they're with a bad record. They're like 1 or 2 games out of the 4 seed or something like that. So it is what it is with that. But the coaching, it starts from the top down, in my opinion. If the coaching is horrible, you're putting your players in positions to fail. You cannot be surprised when they actually fail, right? That's the only thing that really makes any sense there. Russ needs spacing. Line him up there with spacing. Bron needs spacing. Put him out there with spacing. Well, especially because you're staggering their minutes. It's okay. You can have Stanley Johnson out there. That's perfectly fine. But you need guys like Malik Monk and Melo at the same time so that they are out there for spacing, so teams don't just cramp the paint. I think one thing that will help once AD gets back, we really got to hope that he's bringing, 2019, 2020 AD to the lineup, because he looks like he might have just been cool with his one championship, which I get it. It is what it is. You did what you did what you set out to accomplish. But if they get the version of Anthony Davis that comes back hungry with something to prove, that'll really be helpful. I don't know how likely that is because we haven't seen that in forever. But the biggest thing this team needs, they got to fix up the coaching, because they have the personnel in order to make this work. And it's there. LeBron at the backup 5, it works. You can roll that. But once Anthony Davis gets back, you're going to have to do more mismatching. But there's, the spacing has to be optimized. I don't know. I swear, if Anthony Davis gets back and it's AD, Russ, Stanley Johnson, Bron, and Avery Bradley, you're just running yourself into a wall over and over and over again, expecting something different to happen. That's the definition of insanity. That's why I think it really starts with the coaching. And I think if the coaching is better, you might get better effort out of the players because they're being optimized. If players are being optimized, you're going to see better performances. And when they're playing better, you're going to see better effort, right? I think that's the logical way of looking at it. But Laker fans, where are you guys at on this? I mean, I know a lot of Laker fans are just absolutely done with this season. I don't personally blame you, but I do think there is reason for optimism because they do have the personnel that they've been missing. They do have a chance here to really bring this together. And if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be LeBron. I think he can do it. Russ, honestly, hasn't even been that bad. He's been pretty good. I know he's missed some dunks and layups and stuff like that, but I think his athleticism has slightly declined. It's slightly declined. It is what it is, but that's what you kind of expect from a guy that's like 32 with coming off of, knee surgeries and quad injuries. Some regression was likely to happen, especially in the athleticism department. But honestly, I've been cool with Russ's performance. LeBron's been a maniac lately. I just think that their lineups aren't being optimized, and that's kind of impacting their effort and hustle. I know, but a lot of times there's a mental aspect to this where it's like, I'm out here with dudes that are not here, that don't make me better in any way. They don't help my game. So your effort's going to decline from that. And I know that's frustrating as fans, but we have to look at it logically. And that's kind of how I see it. Laker fans, if you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. If you got to this far in the video, please like it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. I don't think all is lost for the Lakers. I'm going to give it probably until the All-Star break for them to get it figured out. The biggest thing is, and it might be a long shot at this point, they got to get healthy and they got to get the coaching right. They got to get these rotations down pat, because it's killing me watching this, because they have the players to do this. I truly believe that. If you guys don't at this point, I don't blame you. There's a lot of reason to be negative on them, but I'm going to hold out some more hope. It might burn me in the back end, but who cares? I'm done here. I hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.